6 o'clock, and I'll call this August 15th meeting of the Andalusia City Council to order. Ask you, if you will, to stand and join me in the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and give you thanks for the many blessings that you bestow upon us as individuals and as a community and as a nation. We ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions about our community, that it may be decisions that are in the best interest of the people and are pleasing to you. We ask that you give our leaders around the nation, around the world, kinder hearts and clearer minds to solve some of the many problems that we face. These and other things we ask in Christ's name. Amen. 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 Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to welcome our guests. We do have guests with us tonight, and we are always pleased to have people come and join us in our meetings. Remind everyone that we meet on the first and third Tuesdays of each month, with the workshop starting at 5 o'clock up on the third floor, and then the regular meeting starting here in the council chambers in the auditorium at 6 o'clock. And we always enjoy having people come join us and invite you to come and do that. Council members, the first order of business would to take up the minutes of our meeting of August the 1st.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented of the regular meeting August 1st, 2017.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Mount to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
I second.
Have a second by Mr. Sconyers. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please indicate by raising your right hand. And that is approved, and I thank you for that. We have no unfinished business. Under new business, we have with us tonight members of the 4-H organization, Mr. Chuck Simon, and he has some other folks with him associated, Ms. Lee with the 4-H, and they're going to come and make us a presentation about 4-H in Covington County, and I'm assuming y'all going to ask us for something, but you're welcome to come. Chuck, if you would, stand there, and that way that mic will get the sound out to everyone.
I gave Mr. Thompson our request letter, and so, but what I wanted to talk about tonight before I introduce is our 4-H clubs in Covington County. We are now in the Andalusia school system. We've kind of been in and out over the years. I frankly have fought to keep our program local with Auburn. We had gone through a time of, reconstruction or whatever, deconstruction, whatever you want to call it, and they wanted us out of the schools. And a lot of our counties, we refused to do that. So it was on us for many years. I struggled to keep an agent. Well, things have turned around. We've got a new administration up there, and now I have Ms. Katie Lee, who is our regional agent. She is in Crenshaw and Covington. And then Ms. Catherine Ryder is a county-paid full-time agent. The county funds her position and her travel and gives us a little extra money to do the programming with. And we have come to the point now, we've gone into Andalusia school system. We've about got all the man or woman hours that we can put into it, and we've hit a wall. And we want to hire a 20-hour-a-week agent to help us with the Andalusia school system, Apple program, and the middle school. And we need a little help from y'all. We're going to put money in it if we can get y'all to help us fund this position. We would like, if you wish, we'd like to try it for a year, see how y'all like it. But anyway, I wanted to give Katie the podium to let her show you what we've done this year alone with 4-H.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come here tonight, and we do appreciate you allowing us to take your time.
4-H is going through a renaissance right now. We really are, statewide. 4-H is nationally the largest youth-based organization that reaches our children. And what our motto is to make the best better. And you're going to see that throughout this with 4-H. We give children hands-on opportunities, not just in the classroom. We come in the classrooms to help, but we bring things that they can actually work to do to put their hands to it. And our slideshow, every month we go into the school systems. As Chuck was saying, I'm also in Crenshaw County. I'm 50% Crenshaw County, 50% Covington County. And I'm in all the schools in Crenshaw County, and Miss Catherine, she does all of the county schools here, and I come and do the Andalusia Elementary School. And we go in once a month per class. So I have 18 classes that I attend to at the elementary, and spend about 45 minutes. Now, this is the first time that these students, 4 through 6, have ever laid eyes on parliamentary procedure. We teach them that. They're going to elect officers. They have president, secretary, and vice president that's there. But the biggest thing that we do is our STEM education. We love to bring things that they can put their hands on. And STEM education is strong with them. We do ag in the classroom. We teach water quality, water cycle. Every month is something different, and we are constantly in training. Tomorrow I have to be in Millbrook for a training for some environmental education that we're going to be bringing them. One of the activities that we provide, we get this funded through grants and friends of our 4-H system, is we have a walk in the forest. We're very fortunate to have the Conecuh National Forest here in Covington County, and we love to take advantage of that every chance we can. So 4th and 5th graders, we invite them countywide to come for 3 days to the Conecuh National Forest. The schools bus them in, and we have local biologists. We have some people from Florida, Georgia, that come and they bring their raptor birds, and we have a big day, a field day. All the students look forward to that. This year, we got rained out when it was time for Andalusia to come. And so we took it to them. We took the birds and animals to them, and we did it in the multi-purpose room, and the kids had a ball. And we hated the fact that Andalusia, my children go there, and I really wanted to have a program for them to be able to put their hands outside. And so we worked with Ms. Brunson and was able to do a separate field trip to the Conecuh National Forest. So Andalusia actually benefited from having the weather day. And they even got to go to a gopher tortoise hole and put a camera down in it and see that. So we had a big field day with them there. We do several different service projects throughout the year. We worked with Coastal Cleanup. As you can see, we have the soda tabs that were collected for Ronald McDonald, and we're always very active with the Relay for Life. There are several other things that we do throughout the year, too, with that. With 4-H, like I told you before, we know that we want to make the best better, and we know that competitions have a way of making you sometimes improve and to grow as a person, and we offer every month 2 or 3 different competitive events that the students can compete in the classroom. These are just a few of the things. We have the extreme birdhouses that they build, quilting, public speaking is always a great big one. First time I ever spoke in public was through 4-H. And so they get to they have class winners in there, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and those students are invited to come to our county roundup. And they get to compete with all the students across the county, and the winners of that will then get to compete at the regionals at Troy University over the summer. And we had 18 students that participated in that from Covington County. And several, if you can see some ribbons, we had several 1st place winners with that. They competed with about 20 other counties all the way from Auburn, from Lee County down to Mobile. And it's some of the students, it's their very first time ever stepping foot on campus. We have a grant that funds that. We pay for each and every student to attend that. So it is costly for us, but we love for them to have that experience. This summer was one of the things that we got to do was a week-long project with the Strachan after-school program, and they were remodeling their school, so they got to come to our office, and we did a whole entire week with environmental education and ended it with a trip to go fishing at Open Pond. This would be one of the things that we would love to do with Apple. We would love to, we just don't have the manpower as of now to go in there and offer this for an entire week. But if we had a little bit more help, this would easily be accomplished. We have, of course, different things all throughout the year that we offer. This is just some of the things that we do after school. And this was some cooking nights that we had. We had one day where we went and picked blueberries and they made blueberry jam. And there's many, many other things that we could do right now if we had just a little bit more help. I received a grant this year of about $4,000 for computer coding that we received everything to do that. We would love to have many after-school project nights with the students with learning different computer programming. Summer camp, we took 27 students to summer camp, and this is one of the great things that I loved about Andalusia. Out of these 27 students, 23 were students of Andalusia Elementary School. And out of those, we were able to get scholarship 13 students. We opened up a program, and we told them that we would be able to scholarship 2 students to go to summer camp, but they had to write us an essay as to why they wanted to go to summer camp. We had 13 awesome essays to be turned in, and we just said, we got to come up with a way to take these students. And so they went and helped to do fundraising, and we got it, and they were able to go. And I just wanted to share you a little bit. This was one of the first students who turned it in, and this little boy was so excited. I told him that day in class, the very next day he brought me his essay, and he said, I want to go. And if you'll just let me read it to you. He says his name, and he says, I'm 10 years old, I'm in the 4th grade and attend Andalusia Elementary School. A lot of my favorite hobbies consist of being outside, which is a few of the reasons I would love to go to camp. Another reason I would like to go is because I want to learn about animals, water sports, and archery. 4-H camp can help me with meeting new people and building lifelong friendships, and also learning from my 4-H teacher. I hope that by me attending camp, I get to attend, it will be a great learning experience and a memory that will last me forever. Just thinking about all the things that might take place at camp just excites me, and it would be my first time ever to go to camp. Those are the reasons why I want to go to camp. And that was the reason why we pushed hard to get funding to send 13 students. And all 13 were from Andalusia. And this was just some of the things that they were doing at camp. And the little boy that wrote this flipped me in a canoe. So I just had to throw that in. We have, of course, 4-H is always known for their animal science programs, and we have our Cackle Club and our Pig Pen going on as of now. We're going to have at the county fair, we're going to have a show that's going to include Pike County students, Crenshaw County, and Covington County students. So we're anticipating about 60 students to show their chickens and their pigs this year. And we had another night at the Conecuh National Forest. This was the night critters. And we had our local biologists come help us and several people, and they got to learn all sorts of fun things and even went on a frog hunt. And we even found a snake in the water, by the way. They also got to see flying squirrels being released. Those were with the red-cockaded woodpeckers, and they were moving them from a different section, so they thought that was pretty neat. We have a sports fishing also, where we teach students how to fish. We teach them how to tie knots, how to cast, what bait you would use. This was actually with the Apple program right here. We did a 3-day event, and we took from kindergarten all the way through the 8th grade. We took 3 separate trips to the Armstrong Lake, and we went fishing with them there. And of course, we're known for arts and crafts. The kids always love arts and crafts. Now, this is a program that this was our first year here in Covington County implementing this, and this is called the Wildlife Habitat Education Program, and it is very detailed, and actually my 3 children actually participated with this. But you can take a team of 4 to Auburn University to compete in this, and we have a junior level and a senior level. And you meet with them quite often, and they have to be able to identify about 120 different animals. They have to read aerial photos. They have to come up with a wildlife plan. And we started in January, and we had the program, the competition at Auburn in June. But they did really great. They came in 4th in the state, and we were very, very proud of that. We had some 2nd places and some 3rd places individually in several different events. But if you can see the picture with the arrow, we went and met with Mr. Joel Martin down at the Solon Dixon Center, and he worked with them for a little while, and they got to go swimming down there And when they got to Auburn, you can see a picture of exactly, that's the same spot that they were swimming. So they thought that was really neat. And we have with Apple this year, the past 2 years, Apple has purchased kayaks for us to go teach them how to kayak. And we take students all throughout the summer on trips to the river. This summer, we weren't able actually to get onto the river because of the weather, but we made several trips to the open pond, and they got to fish, and they got to do that, and then they also got to go swimming at Blue Lake afterwards. And the things that we really would love to grow to, we would really love to get in the junior high here at Andalusia. We're building these leaders, and they love 4-H. They love everything about it, but we're losing them at the 7th and 8th. 4-H goes all the way to 18 years old, and a lot of the other schools were able to get into the 8th all the way through the high school, but that's going to be a program. We have a lot of different social curriculum that we could bring, some bullying, all these things are coming through Auburn University. We work for Auburn, and these are throughout the country, these curriculums, and there's really a lot that we can offer to these students. Spoken to Ms. Anderson, she said if you ever get anyone, she would open her doors gladly for 4-H to be there. Other things that we would like, we have stretch and strengthening classes that we could come in to the special, to the PE classes. We can come in and do programming with them. This curriculum came from the University of Arkansas, and there's a lot of great research with that and the different potential that it has. Robotics, coding, and computer science. I told you about that grant that we've received, and we want to implement a lot of that. And our hiking club, we've enjoyed so much of the things different at the Conecuh National Forest this year that we've had students that really want to have a hiking club this year. So our goal is to hike all of the trail of the Conecuh National Forest and then maybe a little bit more. So I promise you, if we were able to have just a part-time agent, we could increase tenfold because there's just so much opportunity there for us. And we just would if there's any way that you guys could assist us in that, we would really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, Chuck and I will be glad to answer any.
Okay, does any members of the council have a question you'd like to put to these folks tonight? Okay, give us a chance to discuss this, and we'll get back with you. We'll take it under advisement. We'll probably give you a call and talk about numbers and that kind of stuff, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Okay, thanks again for that presentation on 4-H. We discussed in the workshop the first draft, basically, of our new fiscal budget for the coming year that starts on October the 1st. End of the fiscal year is September the 30th. We have basically a total budget of some $18,328,000, which leaves us after expenses of $17,208,000, a revenue a difference in the income and outgo of $1.1 million, and that would be what we would have in our contingency and capital fund. This is a very, we talked about this in workshop, but we'll just say that the department heads and the city clerk, treasurer, and his staff have worked really hard on this. All of the council members have had input into this, and we're going to basically let this kind of be the first discussion about it tonight, and we'll probably ask you to take it up at the next council meeting. But we'd ask you to take it home with you and read it and study it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call John Thompson or me, and we will try to get you an answer. And be prepared, hopefully, to take it up at our next meeting. All right. We'd had a discussion about a Legislative Act 2017-367, which is an act having to do with a one-time payment to retirees, and this is something that has to be passed through the legislature. Then they pass it down to the cities, and the cities basically pay the money if we choose to participate in it. We don't have to take action on this tonight, but I just wanted you to be thinking about it. I think the number was around $35,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, if we choose to participate in this. Next item is to consider adopting Resolution 2017-23, which is a community development block grant application for street resurfacing. This is similar to block grant application or block grants that we have received before that pave streets and do street work in low and moderate income neighborhoods. You've got your information there with your packet. Again, this would be a cost share, or the city would have to put in some matching funds into this grant. But I recommend to you that we go ahead and apply for it because there's no guarantee that we're going to get it. But if we do get it, it'll help us pave some streets in town that otherwise we'd have to pay 100% for, and this grant will pay a huge chunk of that if we're successful in getting it. So I recommend to you that we go ahead and adopt the resolution and let them apply, get the grant officially applied for.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2017-23, Community Development Block Grant Application for some much-needed street resurfacing.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Sconiers. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Wells. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adopting Resolution 2017-23, please indicate by raising your right hand. And that carries, and I thank you for that. Our next item to consider is Resolution number 2017-24, is a police department grant application for some funding to help us with domestic abuse and domestic violence in our community. This would work hand in hand with what we're already doing, excuse me, trying to address this issue. Of course, it doesn't happen just in Andalusia, it happens all over the country. Domestic violence is one of the things that we have to deal with at our police department, probably as much as any other issue. And of course, we often hear of domestic violence spiraling into really dangerous situations for police officers and firemen and rescue folks and all that kind of stuff. So it's the kind of problem that can impact you or impact a city in a very bad way. This would also be a matching fund grant, but we will think that we will be able to meet all of our matching obligations with in-kind services that we provide, facilities that we provide, and so forth. This will bring in a couple of new employees, one part-time, one full-time, that will give us a little more help in addressing these folks who are having these problems. Also will impact some drug abuse issues and have some treatment programs perhaps for that. So in any event, I think it's worthwhile. We do not think that this will actually cost us anything out of pocket. So it's kind of a no loser. If we're successful in getting it, it won't cost us anything, but we will get something useful out of it. So I recommend to you that you adopt Resolution 2017-24.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2017-24, the police applying for the grant from ADECA for domestic violence.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Powell. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
A second by Mr. Mount. Is there any further discussion, questions? All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand, and that carries, and I thank you for that. We have resolution number 2017-25, abatement of nuisance properties. It's a single piece of property on College Street, and it is a grass and weeds problem, and you've got a picture of it there, a photograph of that in your packet, and it pretty much speaks for itself. 201 College Street.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion abatement of nuisance property
2017-25.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Griffin to approve and adopt Resolution 2017-25. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second by Mr. Sconyers. Any further questions, comments, discussion? All in favor of adopting the resolution, please indicate by raising your right hand. Thank you for that. We have no other business other than there are two nominations I would like to make to fill openings that will be coming up next month in the Industrial Development Board. One is I'd like to nominate Mr. Charles E. Short. Ed Short, as we all know him, has been the long-serving chairman of this committee, or chairman of this board. Works really hard, does a good job, and of course Ed is very involved in industrial recruitment throughout the county, so he has a lot of expertise when it comes to this, and I nominate Charles Short, and also would like to nominate James H. Smith. We all know, of course, is Jim Smith. Jim is retired from Southeast as the CEO of Southeast Alabama Gas District, now Southeast Gas. Jim has served a number of years on the Industrial Development Board. Again, Jim has a lot of experience in this field of industrial development and has been a very good member, and comes to meetings and helps us get quorums together when we need them. So I'd like to nominate those two individuals to fill two of these three positions.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to second that nomination.
Okay, Mr. Powell makes a second. Any other nominations from any of the other board members, council members? All right, hearing none, all in favor of those two nominations, please indicate by raising your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Okay, I think that is all that I have on the agenda. Is there anything from any of the council members that you wish to bring to the attention of your fellow council members? Hearing nothing, we will stand adjourned.